So in a lot of organizations, and yours might be like this, people have a hard time just staying focused. There's a lot of distractions, a lot of interruptions. Sometimes it's emergencies that are legit, but a lot of the time it's just people getting distracted. We have, some concerns maybe about people's attention span and stuff like that, but often it's external things that are distracting individuals and teams, sometimes even departments, from focusing on a goal, a vision, an outcome, and really just executing on that one particular thing. As an agile coach and trainer myself, I see this over and over and over again when I ask people about their work environments. It's almost incredible that anyone actually gets anything done because of the cost of task switching. So what I've done is I've set up a very simple prompt this time around to start things off. I just want to say, hey, pretend I'm a manager. I'm at some company called Small Corp. I've noticed this problem with distractions and focus, and I want to try and solve it. Give me some suggestions. So ChatGPT comes up with some ideas. Set clear goals and priorities. Great, obvious in a sense. Minimize interruptions. Okay, obvious. Encourage breaks. That's an interesting one. Provide training, model good behavior, celebrate accomplishments. That's also an interesting one. And etc. So create a culture. I mean, how do you even do that? But let's focus on number 3, encourage breaks. So, as a manager, I might be like, well, aren't breaks a problem? Like if we have too many breaks? So I've never heard about encouraging breaks as a way to improve focus. Some people seem to take too many breaks. How do we balance this? I'm concerned that if I encourage more breaks, it will get abused. Okay, so let's see what ChatGPT advises. Okay, it's true. Some employees may do this, but still an effective way. Some suggestions. Set clear expectations, provide structured breaks, monitor productivity, encourage communication, lead by example. I mean, all of these things are really straightforward. Setting clear expectations, though, like let's dig into that one a little bit, because of course, as a manager, we want to leverage ChatGPT to just do as much as possible for us. So let's ask it, can you please draft a break policy for me that I can share with my team? Please be detailed and make it in the format of a conversational email. Now, at this point, I'm not going into any details here about the team, but you could hear, for example, say something like, oh, my team is doing Scrum or Kanban, or it's co-located or distributed, or, whatever, to give it a little bit more context. But let's just keep it general for now and see what it comes up with. So we know, of course, that ChatGPT is great at generating text. So new break policy at Small Corp. Dear team, I'm excited to announce a new break policy. Really, am I excited about that? But anyway, okay, important to our mental and physical health, also important to be balanced about it. So here's some policy: frequency and duration. I mean, structured, communication, accountability, flexibility. So a lot of this is pretty straightforward, right? It's nice, though, that it just generated an email that basically we can copy and paste. We know that about ChatGPT. It's always been good at that. Now, let's go a little deeper, right? So suppose we implement this policy and we're like, I notice so-and-so is kind of still abusing the policy. So can we draft a letter to share if someone is taking too many breaks? Should be conversational, not meant to scare anyone at this point. I mean, maybe later on we want to scare people a little bit, but let's just see what it comes up with as a nice little checking in. Okay, hope this email finds you well, support you, stay on track. Notice you've been taking breaks more frequently than recommended guidelines, and thoughts on supporting productive and balanced breaks. Now, of course, we know that the reality is that there might be health and wellness issues for individuals. So this is a pretty good start. We might ask it to revise the email, to also indicate that the employee can mention in confidence if there are any specific health concerns that are affecting their ability to follow the break policy. By the way, obviously, that's not something that I had pre-planned. I just thought of it as I'm doing this video. So let's see what it comes up with. Sure, here's a version. Okay, notice taking breaks, encourage. I also want to remind you if there's any specific health concerns. Love to hear your thoughts. So it just inserted a paragraph basically, which is perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. And it adds, we want to make sure that everyone feels comfortable and supported in the workplace. Absolutely, fantastic, love it. Now, okay, so this is dug into it in a little bit of depth for some of the specifics about a break policy, but if we go back to the beginning, we notice that there's quite a few other things that it talks about, including this idea of create a culture of accountability. Well, okay, basically, like, we want it to dig deeper. We want it to be able to help us change the culture. These are tactical things and they're important, but what about changing the culture? So let's see what it comes up with when we say, you know, we have all these pressures here and it makes it hard to improve focus even if we want it. What can we do about improving the focus culture? Are there any tools or systems or methods that can help make a lasting improvement? So let's see what it comes up with here. More than just individual efforts, use a task management system. Great. Implement time tracking. I'm not so keen on that one personally, but in some work environments that might be appropriate. Encourage deep work. Okay, this is an interesting one. By the way, I love it. Oh, Pomodoro technique. I am so glad that ChatGPT came up with this one. This is a fantastic technique. I've used it myself, and I didn't even think of it, but it's absolutely a really cool technique. Clear communication expectations, foster a culture. So it's kind of repeating itself. It notices that it's repeating itself, so that's good. But let's ask it about this one technique. Use the Pomodoro technique. Okay, so I've never heard of the Pomodoro technique, which of course I have. Please explain it to me in detail. Okay, so let's see what it comes up with. Now, for what it's worth, this is the kind of thing where we would have to fact check that. I'm not actually sure that's the case or not. But based on the rest of it, it is, so choose a task. Yes, that's correct. Set a timer. Yes. Take a short break. Yes, absolutely. Repeat the cycle. And completed 4 work intervals. So in other words, 2 hours, take a longer break. Perfect idea. And by the way, that's all correct. You can use a timer or a Pomodoro app. Very simple, effective, and proven in real life over and over again. So this is really, really good, valuable, focused advice. But did it really answer the question about culture? So let's dig into that a little bit more. So how does the Pomodoro technique help us to change the organization's culture? I'm a little unclear on that. Okay, so you know, there's of course going to be things that it says that are obvious. There might be some things that are less obvious. I suspect that one of the things we would have to do here is if we really want to talk about culture, we would have to design a prompt that includes a model of culture. So Edgar Schein's model of culture, for example, that has, you know, the espoused values, the artifacts, and the underlying assumptions. That's a three-part cultural model. There's other cultural models, and we could go on and dig in and get ChatGPT to possibly even ask us questions about our organization. Can you provide a list of questions for me to answer about the culture of my organization so that you can provide more specific answers about changing the culture? Now, I'm gonna guess that it's gonna make an excuse here. I've done things like this before, but let's just see what it comes up with. Sure, here are some questions. What are core values and beliefs, goals and objectives, how employees held accountable, recognized, feedback, conflicts and disagreements, communication style, decisions, innovation, work-life balance. Okay, actually, it came up with a list of questions that are quite specific. I don't necessarily think all of these things are related directly to culture, but nevertheless, it's a good list, and you could then go ahead and type in a long response answering all of these questions, and then guess what? It's going to do it. It's going to answer the question about how to create a stronger culture of focus and productivity based on what we've provided. So we're going to talk about this more in a future video, but one of the things that you can get ChatGPT is to create and do evaluations of your situation in order to provide better answers. All right, so I think that's all I need to say for now about ChatGPT and supporting you to encourage a focus culture in your organization. Clearly, there's a lot of options that ChatGPT came up with that we didn't explore, and you might be more interested in other ones. If you want, as usual, there's going to be a link for you to access and download the prompt template that I've created for this video. And I hope that you found this valuable. Please like, subscribe, share. I will be producing lots more of these over time, and also going on to other AI tools that you can also use to win as a manager.